Hey team, happy Thursday. Welcome back to day 4 of 7th grade math online version. I'm excited to dive in today. We should have a shorter video today because we have a longer independent practice today. So what I want to do today is just quickly review some big concepts from the week in the form of one summative question. And then your independent practice assignment today is a little bit longer and it's counted for a quiz grade because it covers the entire week's lessons. So before we get started today, make sure that by the end of the video today, you have not only today's notes organized and ready to go, but your notes from Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday also organized and ready to go. You are welcome to use those on the quiz, and I encourage you to use those on the quiz because there's so many good examples there for you. Okay, speaking of notes, let's go ahead and get our material set up. Today is 4/2, April 2nd. These are math notes. Go ahead and make your paper look like mine. We're just going to be doing one question today. All right. Here it is. You will be solving word problems on your quiz today. And of course, you've done all this already, mostly in Unit 5. So it's review, but review of some really important stuff that I want to make sure we've got and we can go over. So here's question 1. You use a debit card to purchase several scrunchies. Your account balance after buying the scrunchies changes by negative $30.90. Let's pause here. Account balance is a key phrase here that I want to make sure I review. Account balance is just how much money there is in the account right now. So when you spend money, your account balance changes by a negative amount. Your account balance decreases. When you earn money, your account balance increases. So if we're talking about money and an account balance, we're talking about negative change decreasing and positive change increasing. So when we buy scrunchies, the amount of money we have in our account changes by negative $30.90. I'm going to make it red for negative. Okay. For each scrunchie you purchased, each. That's a word I think about really carefully when I'm reading a word problem. It makes me think multiplication. We'll see if we need it. For each scrunchie you purchased, the change in your account balance was negative $5.15. Okay, so each scrunchie I buy, my account balance changes by negative $5.15. That must mean the scrunchies cost $5.15 each. Okay, and then the question says, how many scrunchies did you buy? Perfect. It's multiple choice, so let me take a look at those answers first before I get started. The question is, how many scrunchies did you buy? Would it make sense to buy 6 scrunchies? Sure, maybe. Would it make sense to buy negative 36.05 scrunchies? No way, right? B doesn't make sense at all. C, does it make sense to buy 25.75 scrunchies? I don't think so. What about 5? Maybe 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and move to our paper and jot a couple of notes. One, I want to just jot a couple of notes from the question. You can do this with me. So account balance changes by negative 30.90, negative $30.90. And then each scrunchie, I'm just thinking like bullet points here. Each scrunchie is negative $5.15. Here were my answer choices. A was 6, B was negative 36.05, C was 25.75, and D was 5. So I'm going to go ahead and for B and C, I'm just going to write that these are not true. It wouldn't make sense to have a negative amount of scrunchies, and it wouldn't make sense to have part of a scrunchie when we're talking about buying scrunchies. So I'm just going to write doesn't make cents. Okay, go ahead and make your paper look like mine. All right, so I know then I either bought 6 scrunchies or 5, and the question says how many scrunchies did I buy? All right, so I can see 2 ways to solve this problem. I wonder how you're going to solve it. Let's go ahead and take a couple of minutes on our own to finish solving this question. I am going to put the question back up for you so you have it and get a timer. Let's just take maybe 2.5 minutes. Oop, there we go. 2.5 minutes to get started. All right, go ahead and begin. One minute. All right. What answer did you put? I went ahead and answered A, and I thought about this in 2 ways, 2 possible ways to find the answer. The way that I think most of you probably solved is using multiplication and almost like counting up to by groups of $5.15 until you get to $30.90. So I could add 5 and 1500s together until I get this total, or I can multiply 5 and 1500s, $5.15 by 6, which was one of my answer choices, and or by 5, which was one of my answer choices, to see how much I got. So if my account balance changes by this much 6 times, then my total change would be $30.90. That's why I think the answer is A, 6 scrunchies. You could also think about this sort of backwards. I'm given the total and I'm given the size of the group, $5.15 for every scrunchie, and I want to know how many groups. So how many scrunchies can I buy if they're $5.15 each? I set up long division here. I end up having to, since there's decimal in this number, I had to move it twice. So remember, I have to move it twice here. And it ends up here. I don't get anywhere until I get to how many times does 515 go into 3090. So I had to do this multiplication anyway, and I found it was 6 times with none left over. Okay, so 2 ways to find that answer. The answer is A. If you got it, self 5 coming your way. Crushed it. All right, one more thing before we go. I want to do a quick note on your quiz today and generally in the 7th grade standard. One thing that's really important, excuse me, is identifying from context or from a word problem what kind of things make a positive value or a positive change, and what kind of things make a negative value or a negative change. So let's take a quick note. Can you please write almost like a T chart with positive and negative? And let's just list some examples from word problems or real life that create positive change or negative change, since we're talking about using positive and negative numbers. So for example, positive would be like if I'm talking about how much money I have and I earned money. Let's say I got paid on the 1st of the month, that would be a positive change. Let's say you mow lawns for money as like a service for your neighborhood. The number of lawns you mow would be changing your account positively, earning money. Negative, there's a couple of examples for negative, like spending money. Or if you are paying somebody, if you are paying someone, your amount of money is decreasing, it has a negative change. All right. Besides just money, there's other things. Like if I say, I just listened to a CGI problem from an elementary school teacher. It was talking about how many beads she had. So some of the beads were lost, and then she found some more beads, right? So maybe losing something versus finding it or getting it. Also in the negative change, giving away is a common one you'll see. If you're counting things, I gave an example of beads, but if we're counting things like cookies, that's common in a math problem. Maybe if some are eaten or dropped on the floor, that would be a negative change. If we make something, like if we're thinking cookies, if we make cookies, that's a positive change in the number of cookies that I have, right? There's so many more examples of this, but I just wanted to remind you of a few different contexts that you'll see positive and negative numbers, both in your quiz today, as well as just generally as you move forward from 7th grade. That's it for me today. Just one final reminder that you should, after finishing this video, go ahead to the independent practice, which is a quiz today. Make sure it's turned in by 10 p.m. If you need any help, you should head to office hours with Ms. Russell at 3:15. She'd love to see you there. And then tomorrow morning, I will catch you on Google Classroom for the results of our quiz, some celebrations, and some feedback. Have a great afternoon, everybody. And teach, guys.